which is migration to Germany. And we will get an introduction, first of all, from Simon. He will tell us who he is. We like introducing ourselves on this show in 3D. Simon, 3D is something like this. So my name is Rone Jason. I'm a professor of food biotechnology. I live in Germany. I come from Nandi Hills. My family is here with me and our children. And I belong to a family called Kipkenda. Kipkende, I think in Portuguese. Speak to I'm a businessman based in Germany. I run Synonym Biotech here in Germany, which is consulting in the area of alternative proteins and flavor for pet food. I know when I tell people about pet food, they wonder what the hell is pet food, but don't worry. Tugap chetro jibo digegure in sesini kakpago agiribe no kwangu kusir teta ngulimbaga. Kiribe teta ngulino kwangu negure teta chetro. So Simon, what I want to do is to invite you to introduce yourself because I want us to tackle this topic, which is covering the two areas that are very good in terms of coverage from your side and my side as well. So who is Simon? Introduce yourself and where do you live? How long have you been here? What do you do for a living? Simon.
Thank you so much, Professor. Kongwe missing. Oyege mwa kiboisie ni lugaishek tugul. Orgabet kale jinginde Kiingereza. So
your tone is a bit down there, Simon. I don't know whether it's me. We need to also check from the comments whether people are talking about it, but go on.
Okay, let me just increase the volume. So can you hear me now?
And there is an echo. I think we need to mute something. I don't know what it is.
There must be something that is on. Just
yes.
Let me check if there is a
Go
second.
Go on, Simon.
Better now? You tell me if it is better now, Prof?
Yes, it is better now.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Simeon Kirui. Simon Kirui. I'm Kenya. I have Komastab Narok. And then in Oret, Kwa Babuseri Indet, Uren Gusero Sam. Tiondago saw it. I've been here in Germany. I run an organization called Kepic Commercials and Consulting. I'm the CEO of that organization. The reason why commercial is because we were in trade before COVID, and when COVID came, we put another aspect of consulting. So that has been the area, and we consult from trade partnership between companies here in Germany and Africa, especially also increasing the confidence of the African man, African businesswoman with the European. And on the other side, also on the two issues that are very touching to us, Professor, the issue of labor mobility, labor migration to Germany and to the EU. So there are two milestones that have in the course of this time from 2023, according to the current administration, Gigisa and Kenya act EU, what they call EPA, Economic Partnership Agreement, whereby it gives us opportunity of a market which is quota-free and in terms of export and also tax-free, opening us to around $14 trillion market. And then on top of that, this administration, which we need to guide and help also, has given us an opportunity by signing with Germany the labor mobility side, which means it gives us an access to the labor market to Germany. And those are the two topics that we'll be dealing with, especially on the labor mobility and migration, whereby there are a lot of different stories being peddled around. So we want to do some little facts check on this, and I give it back to you, Professor.
Maybe Simon. I mean, it's a good start that we do this. And you know, somebody might be wondering why Simon, why not anybody else? I think we need to start from there. So, what is it that you bring on this table in this conversation? What is it that you bring to this conversation?
Thank you, Professor.
Go on, Simon.
Yes, I lost you. The voice was gone, but I got your point. I come from the private sector, and I've been working as a business development manager for African market, and we have been helping a lot of European companies go to Africa. And that means we have talked with a lot of different partners on the ground. And the trajectory has been actually that Germany has been facing a huge problem on labor force. Secondly, I have also, thank COVID, I've worked with the Federal Employment Agency of Germany. That also helped me to get in touch with the system around here and also look at the perspective on the job market, what it means to be employed here, closely working as one of the staff of the Federal Employment Agency. And that is also what I bring in, the kind of experience that I've had being an employee, what it means to be employed in Germany. That is number one. Number two, also being in the Federal Employment Agency, what it means from the eyes of a professional who is supporting the labor market here in Germany is. And that is also why we work now as also recruiting agency or consulting Kenyans who want to come to Germany to show them the way so that they may not, again, there are a lot of black sheep on the ground, everyone looking for those ones who do not know where they are going, orientation, and they're ready to take your money. So we want to understand, when you are giving your money, do you get the service of what you paid for? And I maybe to again debunk on that, Professor, I usually carry three principles. If I am taking money from you and I don't solve your problem, I am robbing you. But if you're taking services from me and you're not paying me, you are misusing me. But if I'm solving your problem and I'm taking some money from you, then it's a win-win. You're happy, I'm happy. And that is the reason. It's as basic as that. Professional, we will do it. And so that you're happy and I'm happy. And I think it will be a win-win. That is how we follow our business. Professional, simple, and again, you know, trustworthy and transparent. We give you the cost. Why? Why pay for this? And you get the service for what? We give you the deliverables and the cost for those deliverables.
Yeah. Simon, I mean, when you say that, a lot of people have, you know, developed cold feet, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm going to be very blunt, I don't deal with labor migration myself, although my nephew just landed 2 days ago here. And he landed 2 days ago because I employed him in a project. But I don't offer this service where I tell people, come here, I will give you answers to your questions and facilitate for you to go abroad and work there. But here is this guy sitting somewhere in Digir, or in Kianyaga, in Kirinyaga, or in Cheptabach, or in Matunda. And he's looking at you and looking at so many other options which are out there saying, I know how to take people to Germany. Why should I trust you? I guess that's the question, isn't it?
A very good.
I can't hear you, Simon.
No, I lost you too, but I got your question. Why should you trust me?
Yeah. Yes.
So maybe just to give back that question. First of all, of course, from looking at my face, most probably I don't look like a I don't look like a criminal, but that is not the point. That's not the point. First of all, the first question that I will ask you is, how much informed are you from your side? Without me, do you know what you want? Because that is when you get a lot of people that exploit others. First of all, is because the first thing is because you don't know what you want. You can imagine, Professor, someone who wakes up and say, I hear that there is 250,000 job offers in Germany, and I want to go to Germany. Yeah. And I'm ready to go to Germany by all means. Now, you subject yourself for people who really know who you. This one, he has no information whatsoever on the requirements of maybe, let's say, even the requirements that are needed for you to go to Germany. So you have told someone, I'm ready to go to Germany by all means. Of course, someone will tell you, okay, if you want to go and you don't want to do anything, I can do it for you. First of all, let me say that our process is kind of very easy. In the first place, I don't want first of all, let me start this way. I'm not Jesus, okay? I'm not Jesus. That means that I die for you. No. I am in business, number one. So that means my time costs you if you're taking my service. That is number one. Number two is if I want to help you, first of all, I want to help those people who really are qualified to go there, because I cannot come. That is why we offer a kind of a free 15 minutes, 30 minutes access of your situation to just sort you and say, look, I don't want to take your money. You are not qualified. And it's very easy. That is why you have to go into our page, which is Kepic Commercials. And I think we will put the link there. You will go there, book an appointment for an assessing of your case. Once we assess that you qualify, first of all, for the first thing, and I want to put it here, the first thing that you really need to get to Germany, let someone not lie to you that you don't need the language. There are situations that you may not need the language. That is the first thing that we usually check, first of all, to see, have you learned the language? Number one. If you haven't learned the language, maybe finish your language, and then we see other parameters that comes around it. So first of all, we don't want to take money from the beginning, from you, just telling you that we will take you just sit, we bring you visa and everything, and then you go to Germany. First of all, there will be stages that we will follow, and I will also maybe explain on those stages as we go ahead. And that also gives you the confidence in us to work with us. And again, we are not going to protect you if you're too lazy to maybe even inform yourself. So we are just ready to help Kenyans who want to go to Germany or work here as per the requirements. And we have a brand that we have built that we cannot afford to get into scrupulous situation.
Thank you very much, Simon. I would like to ask my friends who are trying to call me. It's really bad manners to do this, because you see I'm live on the show, and then out of excitement or you're happy or something like that, you're just calling me. It really doesn't make sense to me. Please, come on, guys. Simon, so, there is this opportunity. The president was here recently. An agreement was signed between the Kenya government and the German government. And we are grateful for the opportunity that Germany gave Kenya the honor to be a partner in something called the Bürgerfest. And would you like to tell us briefly what's a Bürgerfest, and then tell us about the 250,000 jobs that I hear the government of Kenya has received an offer to export people to Germany?
Thank you again, Professor. Let me start by saying we are really very blessed as a country. That is why in all the discussion that we have around, we are always, and I think Professor can bear me witness, in everywhere where I get into a conversation, I don't want to say arguments, but conversation with Kenyans, I always tell them we have built the country for the past 60 years, and we have to be very careful not to destroy within a day. And on top of building that country in the past 60 years, there is an historical connection between Kenya and Germany, that Germany was the first country to recognize the independence of Kenya. So it goes that far, those 60 years. And because of that, this year we had what we call Bürgerfest. Bürgerfest is like the folks business or celebration which is offered by, or every year arranged by the German president to honor all the social activities of the German people. And they always kind of get a partner country. And for the first time, Kenya was honored this time round as the first African country to be honored to be the partner of this event, which is very is held with high regard. So because of that, Kenya was that is why the president also, it was a culmination of this labor mobility agreement between Kenya and Germany. So you have heard of the 250 opportunities or workers that are needed here in Germany. It is true that there are more than 250 job opportunities in Germany. But fact is, all those 250 are not only for the Kenyans. So it is a number that is only said that the market needs such kind of labor force or skilled labor. In fact, the data shows that last year there were around 570 positions that were not filled or that were not able to be taken by workers in the whole of Germany. And it shows that there is a trajectory when you convert that one to economical meaning. That means that the German economy is losing a lot of money because of maybe lack of those skill labor. So again, the 250 job opportunities in Germany was not meant only for Kenyans. So Kenya, having signed the comprehensive labor mobility, can take an advantage which is included in that 250. That is why it was very important for the government here in Germany to say, we didn't agree with the Kenyan government that they were going to supply us 250,000 skill labor. But there was an agreement that Kenyan can take the opportunity of those lacking 250 skill labor. So it seemed that we lost the professor. I don't know what happened.
I am here. I'm here.
You are there.
Yes. I just highlighted you because I wanted people to see your very handsome face as you spoke.
Thank you.
And now we are switching ourselves on the chat. Simon, somebody is sitting somewhere, in Marsabit, in Mandera, in Mombasa, in Sumu, in Kakamega, wherever, and looking at or watching this show, and it could be now live or maybe later when it is recorded and uploaded to your media and my media. And that person is asking themselves, now that this labor migration law has been signed, I guess the next step would be to take it to parliament for it to be ratified by the respective parliaments. I don't know how it goes, but what are these careers that are covered in this labor migration law, if you have any idea about them? And how does this person in Kenya? Let's start with the first one. Which are the clusters? Which are the buckets that are covered in this? So that we then go to the next question, which is what do I do to position myself for this?
Thank you, Professor.
Somehow I can't hear you, Simon. I don't know why.
You can't hear me?
Simon, can you hear me?
Yes,
Maybe
I can
it
hear
is
you.
my system. Yeah, go on now. I can hear you as well.
Me change my...
Go on, it's okay. I can hear you now.
You can
So
hear
the
me?
question is, what are these buckets of careers that are covered and sort of, you know, grouped and covered in this labor mobility agreement? Go on. And sort of, you know, grouped and covered in this labor mobility agreement. There is an echo, Simon, on your side.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So most probably there was a mic that was on, but I can proceed, right?
Go on.
Yes. So the labor mobility agreement was a comprehensive agreement, and it touches on different areas. And on the implementation side was not, you know, fixed into different sectors. It was just a comprehensive agreement that says, let's agree on a working framework when it comes to skilled labor moving to Germany. That could mean they could take the opportunities that are existing here in the market in terms of different sectors. But one of the observations that we have observed, there are kind of some sectors that may be suffering from the lack of skilled labor more than the others. And one of it could have been the healthcare sector. And of course, that conclusions come from the fact that when you look at the demographic trajectory of the German population, is that it's an aging population, and that means there are many Germans or people around here who are exiting the labor market than those ones who are entering, or there are many who are exiting. And of course, also look at the age in terms of, so there are many people maybe who are aging that will require a lot of health care. So, and then there is also another trajectory when it comes to digitalization, which is a global trajectory. So you can talk of IT sector being one of it that will also need a lot of skilled labor. So, and that is maybe those two areas have emerged for us. When I'm talking to Kepic, to be the most which we could even assist the Kenyans to take advantage of. Of course, there are other sectors which might also need a lot of skilled labor, like, for example, handwork. We call it here handwerker. Handwerker will mean those people who are fixing heaters, who are fixing, let's say, building showers, toilets, even building. When it comes to construction, there will also be a lot of labor needed around that area. There is also the other area of logistic. So a lot of, you heard of around drivers who came to Germany, and in the logistic and transport sector, there will also be a lot of drivers or people working in that chain of the sector. It could be in different areas. Logistic could be drivers. It could be people who are using these machines to operate warehouses. And then those, maybe having mentioned those ones, those are the ones whereby we think maybe Kenya need to take advantage of. The key area, of course, is in the health sector, is because you will be dealing with people who do not speak English. So that is why we are talking of the German language being key. In other areas, maybe English will be less, but that is somehow, those are the things that will be looked at in details on one-on-one level. So
Yeah.
I hope I kind of expounded better on that.
You did, Simon. And the reason I set up this call was because there were, hundreds of people getting back to me. I don't know, somehow I provoked because there's something I posted. And they were getting back to me and saying, hey, I want to go to Germany as a nurse and I need information. I have been told that you can help me. The truth is, I don't know what it takes to become a nurse in Germany. So maybe let's start with a couple of questions, which are what I left off from the first one. The first question is, how do you compare the German to Kenyan nurses? So Kenyan nursing in Germany to a nurse in Kenya, how do they compare?
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. I lost you a bit. I don't know, maybe.
I can repeat it, Simon. I think it was because of there was an echo from my side, but I can repeat it. So the question I was asking is, how does being a nurse in Kenya compare to being a nurse in Germany?
Yes.
Go on, Simon.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I think we have a bit of a problem on the internet, but I think we will continue like that. I hope it we'll get it there. So let me
but did you get the question, Simon?
Yes, I did about the comparison between the nursing profession in Kenya and Germany, right?
Go on. Yes.
Yes. So sorry?
Go on.
Yes. So the nursing in Kenya may not necessarily be immediately be recognized here, and that is why there is also a process towards having that nursing diploma or certificate on a one-on-one paper, and that is again the reason why we were saying we need to assess or assess individual cases to see where they have reached with their certificates. There will be a process to align those certificates so that they can the government here will give you a letter that tells you this person now works as a professional here or as someone who is an assistant to the professional and all that. And I remember in March, I was fortunate to attend one of the meeting with which was organized by one of the insurance companies around here. And the people who were present there, which is called Flag Management Deutschland, was also around there. And there was a notice that they sometimes said some nurses from different countries may be allowed to do more than what a nurse could do here. So they could be really, very much qualified as a nurse, but there are regulations that guides the exercising of that profession, especially when it comes to health sector. So in other words, that also tells you some professions are regulated, others are not regulated. And one of the professions that is very much regulated is the health sector professions. So you cannot just come, even if you're a doctor, and immediately exercise your profession as a doctor. There will be some checks and some either qualification to meet, certificates to meet. That is why I'm just saying, in the real sense, because it is one of the regulated professions, what they call regulated professions here in Germany, you will need some certification, some go ahead to practice. So you cannot directly come as a nurse and immediately just practice as a nurse. There will be sort of aligning of your profession from where you come from to the German rules and laws that governs that profession. So I hope that also answers.
Thanks, Simon. And I think you answered well, because the other thing which people in Kenya, nurses in Kenya are more than wound dressers. You remember, I don't know whether your generation had this, but we used to have a lot of girls that were born in my time and maybe before that. They used to be called Teresa. And if you looked at the reason they were called Teresa is because most of them were born at the maternity wards where there were nurses who were dressing wounds. So Jeff Teresa Yat was like somebody who was dressing the wounds. That's how it came about. So you get a lot of the girls that were born, and also the boys, who were born older than myself. They were Kipchumba, Jepchumba, Teresa. These were people that were born in hospital. And it had to be a very difficult birth for a woman to be taken to, to have a baby at the hospital. And the thing that I think we need to really make it very clear to a Kenyan is that the Kenyan nurse being able to administer even drugs, sometimes write a prescription, which is respected at the pharmacy, where somebody goes to buy, that will not happen here in Germany. That a nurse here is not, I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm not in that profession, but I have seen colleagues who are nurses, and when I ask them, they are very clear. They don't go to a university. They do something called Ausbildung, which is different from what we know. It's like you study in a technical environment where you are coached by somebody and mentored by a group, and then the training is attached to a particular institution, and sort of you're trained and employed there. So if you lost a job there, you probably need to go and prepare yourself afresh at another place. Simon, and I think the other complication is because in Germany there is a lot of, that consciousness about insurance, that if there is a mistake that happens because of professional negligence, you need to have a robust enough insurance to cover you, because otherwise you don't only go to jail, but the litigation might cost you a lot in terms of legal fees, and also the compensation for the other person. And there is somebody I know who was she had an operation, just a very simple cesarean operation, and then later went back to complain and said, this thing left a very ugly scar on me, and she went and went, and she ended up getting quite some very generous millions in terms of compensation. So if the doctor didn't have a robust insurance, and if the doctor was not it didn't have a valid license, because it's one thing to be a qualified doctor, but another to be a qualified doctor with an expired license. That means you're practicing illegally. So this is an area, and I think we need to also prepare our people as they plan to come here, that this is an area where adherence to the law and regulations and observance to things that govern behavior is not a negotiable thing, Simon.
Yes.
But let's go to the comment. Unless you want to make a comment on that, you can go ahead.
I just wanted to chime on that, chime a bit on what you said. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Yes. Sometime, and this is one of the things that I heard from the flag management here in Deutschland. They said, sometime, of course, nurses come from different areas, and they get sometimes very much frustrated because in the country of origin, they were allowed to do a lot of things, you know. And you find a nurse. I've got a lot of relatives who are nurses in Kenya, so you will find someone who has done, you know, like a general nursing, a midwifery, you know, like which here could be also, you know, like a profession of its own, like midwifery. So like you will find, they call it ebermen, you know, ladies who help others give birth, and they can develop their own profession on their own, you know, can even have a praxis or maybe a kind of their own to do that midwifery that they might not go to. But one thing that you mentioned very well, Prof, is that there is a lot of backstopping and responsibilities and clear rules on who is responsible for what, at what time and when. And especially, this is also a culture that maybe our people need to change. You know, like even the working hours, who was on duty, at what time, when was the break, when was what, you know, a lot of different issues that ask got responsibilities. From a far end, you may think, this is simple, but at the end of the day, as you said, it has to do with the responsibility when it comes to who takes the responsibility if anything goes wrong, insurances and all that. So that is why we have what we call sakfeständiger, someone who has got to come and prove or check who did what and who didn't do what. So, and no matter how much you are very educated or well-trained, there will always be a rules that guide what you practice. Let me leave it at that.
Yeah. So, Simon, this is in no way to scare anybody who wants to come to Germany,
Yes.
right? Let's be very clear. This is just to prepare ourselves that tutawacha Ukenya JKIA. Because here, you have to be very clear. You're given a job, and in most cases, if you employ somebody to supervise you and stand next to you so that you do your job, it's not going to be efficient because these are very expensive roles to compensate. But let's go back a little, Simon, and think about this person who is sitting, which is the second question I wanted to ask. You know, somebody is sitting at Kapkele, somebody sitting in Nakuru, in Nairobi, wherever they are, and they are looking at you and just asking, I want to go to Germany. What do I need? What are these careers that require language? And what is the level of language? And what does that level of language mean in local terms? Because when you talk about ABC, what does ABC really mean to a Kenyan out there? Because I realized I went through school up to the level that I have, and I didn't know what ABC in language scaling was until I came to Germany. So somebody sitting out there and thinking, and let's not even talk about a Form 4 leaver. Let's talk about somebody who has gone to nursing school or a clinical medicine student, and they want to come to Germany because they want the Euro power. What level of language do they need? Yes, Simon.
Yes. I was waiting because I lost a bit of your voice, but I got what you were asking. So the point is, when learning foreign languages, there are kind of levels that determines your capability of speaking that language. And it could mean that you are able to say your name, greet someone, and say, you know, ile ya kuomba maji. Then you have a kind of a level. Then it means, then you go to the second level, and it means maybe you are able to say what you are saying, introduce yourself, but you can get into a little bit of a conversation with someone, and you're able to ask a question, and maybe even when you are in a train station, you're able to listen to those announcements, and you're able to act accordingly, and maybe answer some or find ways to go. So in other words, those levels of German, depending on what you are able to do with it, they rate you at those levels. But basically, there are those levels that you reach, and they evaluate your capabilities with the language. But not to complicate whether A or B or C or D, there is a level that they say you have to reach, and they will test you on that, which they say that you need a B2. B2 will mean that you're able to converse and exchange the information. The reason for that as well, without going deeper why they put that, is if you're coming to Germany as a nurse, you should be able to communicate to your patients. So in the real sense, whether B or D or whatever, for me, the bottom line is you are a nurse. You want to help someone as a nurse, be it on medication, be it on listening to those people. You should be able to communicate with them, and they should be able to take that confidence that you're listening to them, you're understanding them. So I really see something that you cannot go around it. It's just a necessity as a nurse, first of all, as a nurse, because why as a nurse? Because you're dealing with people who do not speak other languages. Of course, you will get one who speaks English or who speaks a different language, but the language that is spoken here is German. So you should be able to communicate with your patients. And that is why it is a requirement when you're going to ask for a visa. So just to put it, if you're going to study, of course, there is a different thing. It needs a higher level of competence in language use or in German language. But basic and the bottom line for the nurses and for those people who want to work in those areas, you will need a B2, for example. Those other ones like IT, you may need A1 or A2, a level that you can just, like ask, but maybe at work it will be an international company whereby English is the language. But for your comfortability and finding ways around here, you still would need to improve your language. That is the basic. So you cannot just come and say, I'm an international. Of course, you can live in a metropolitan city whereby your surrounding or the people you work with are speaking English. It could be well, but if you want to integrate yourself into the society, be part of it, maybe even move in different areas career-wise, you will still need the language. So I say the bottom line, you have to have a B2. If you have a B1, you can come still, probably you might come to Germany and finish to get the B2, because B2 is regarded as a language, a competence that you are able to handle the situation around here.
Yeah. Thanks, Simon. And to be very clear, I'm going to put a link for people to understand what we are talking about. This A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Usually by the level of, if you are speaking English, the way Simon and I are speaking English now, we assume that we are at the level of C1 and C2. That's mother tongue level. If you are conversational, we are at around about B2. That means you can basically understand what the other person is saying. You can also, reply to them. You can construct, logical sentences and communicate concepts to them. You may not be business, what we call in German, you can do business conversations as eloquently or translate business, transact business transactions in that language, but you should be able to communicate. And again, the other thing which I think is very important to mention is that there is going to be quite a pile of papers for these people to sign. And I always advise people these days, I didn't know this when I was in Kenya, but these days I'm wiser. Don't sign what you have not read.
Correct.
Simon.
Correct.
Yeah. So Simon, if you may, we have had a situation the other day, Eldoret is almost popular for something, very good because it is the home of champions. That's where, Faith Kipyegon, they make their millions, they leave their villages and go and live in Eldoret. That's where all these guys, the athletes from Nandi, Elgeyo Marakwet, Kericho, Bomet, Nakuru, they basically go and spend their quiet time there because they need time for themselves. Eldoret is also known for what is currently not very nice. It's known as almost the city of conmen, right? For lack of a better word. And Simon, there are people today in Eldoret who tell people to drop their passport. The moment somebody comes to Kepic and says, "Hey, Simon, I'd like to go to Germany," I hear the first thing they are told is, "Here is a piece of paper, sign it." And because people don't read, they just sign it. Some of them even give out their M-Pesa PIN code. They give out their ID number. They give out a copy of their passport. They even deposit the passport itself there. And then they go away. And they are told, bring 700,000 shillings. Once you pay, you get your passport back. Simon, A, do you take anybody's passport? And B, is it really something which is allowed to take somebody's passport?
Okay. No, I don't need anyone's passport. That is not me. And you can hear me, Professor, right?
Yes.
So first of all, let me start from there. I don't take anyone's passport. And secondly is, again, as Professor said, read what you are put into. One thing that I do, Professor, one is, and this is just the normal way of going the business is, before we start going into a business, first of all, I inform you the process. This is what we do, where we want, and then there will be a letter of attorney, which we call power of attorney, to deal with your documents. The reason for that is, but I'm not taking your passport. Just don't take your passport. But I need an authorization to talk on your behalf if there is a company that needs your documents or need to know you. Secondly is, I don't also share your information without your authorization, because there is also here what we call data protection. So those people who are telling you, bring your passport, is under the law here is not allowed. You cannot just share anyone's information without their consent. So remember what you might be giving to these people. Secondly, what I want to say here, this is Germany. It is a country of law. That is why I respect this country. It's a country of law, and things are done professionally. And you want to maintain that professionality. The third thing that you have to think as well is, this is not UAE, this is not UK, this is not USA, it is Germany. So those ideas that you really think that people will just help you to get a job, they tell you, bring your passport and everything and I'll get you a job. First of all, ask yourself.
I lost you, Simon. I don't know whether it's me only or somebody else has lost you. It says my connection or...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on now.
Yes, maybe we'll need to be updating the network.
Say something.
Yes, I'm saying again, this is a country of law. This is a country of laws. So you cannot just take anything from anyone and do what you want. It is not allowed here by law. There is data protection issue. So what we usually do, once we have informed you how we work, the processes, what kind of fees we charge. We don't charge you the recruiting fee at the moment before we get a contract for you. But once we get all those things, and then we have to talk to the employers about you, we will need what we call a power of attorney. Vollmacht in German to deal with your document. But we don't take anyone's passport. And I wouldn't recommend anyone to give out their passports. You don't know what that document can be done with. It can be rubbish. And I wouldn't even recommend people paying money without even knowing what they are doing. You should be clear with the processes before. The third thing that I wanted to say is we have heard that in UAE or in other countries, they will ask you, I need 20,000 people to be here and then go and bring me. Here, you will have got to take you through the process because we will inform the employer who you are. The employer has got to talk with you. We have got to accompany you, talk with the employer. For all those things to happen, we will need those power of attorney. But what I wanted to say in clarity is that those people telling you that you will be given a job without even you being present, yeah, probably there must be something to think about it. Thirdly, what you have to check also is how long have these people been in the market? Because remember, again, this is a German market. Most of the companies are speaking German. And that is why we pride of having been working with German companies. We understand the HR politics in that, or personnel politics. We understand how we can build the relationship with those companies. If some people will approach you immediately and they started yesterday telling you that we can take you to Germany, yeah, well and good. You may try with them, but don't gamble with your monies and with your passports. Thank you. Prof, can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Simon. I mean, as we come towards the end, I have seen a couple of comments which I think we will go through. But I have the last question from my side because recently I posted that education in Germany is free at university, or tuition free. That you don't pay tuition in Germany for university, and I had some very interesting rebuttals from some people. I don't know. Did you go to university in Germany? If not, you've lived in this country for long. What is your knowledge about the education and tuition payment at university, especially public universities, for whatever degree, from bachelor's to PhD?
Yes.
Simon, go on.
Okay, thank you. I was waiting for you to end. No, I didn't go to the university here. I studied in South Africa.
I can't hear you though. I don't know whether it's...
I could
Yeah, now go on. I can hear you now. Yeah.
So I was saying, I think there is a delay. So I didn't go to the university here in Germany, but I've also done some Weiterbildung or further studies. One is, it is true, education is free in Germany, and the tuition fee, of course, depending on which university. Like, for example, if it is a public university, in some states, they don't charge any fee. And for some states, they could be charging as little as 1,500 per semester, which if you break it down, it will be very little, 1,500 for international students. But in other areas, it is it's free. Some people may think that it is only free for people who are here, and for international, it is not free. It also depends on that non-international, or maybe that one who is not German, how long they have been here. Like, for example, for me, I've been living in this country long enough, such that even when I want to go to the university, I will not be asked to pay for fees, though I am an international, also though I'm not a German, if I've been living in this country. So there are parameters as well that can put you as incoming international students, that they may levy 1,500 euros, especially in Baden-Württemberg. as a levy for international fee, but compared to fees in other universities, that's negligible. The thing, of course, when you talk of studies in Germany is free, that does not mean that the university will pay for your hostel and all that. But you will have got to pay for your food, you have to pay for your hostel or where you live. But again, those are the things that are negligible. Why we see it very as free is because those little amounts you can still compensate with the student jobs. So again, as I said, if it's a private university that has nothing to do with the state, they might be charging school fees or tuition fees. But if it is a state university, which they call Hochschule, they might not be charging, especially depending on the state that you are. I know in Baden-Württemberg they will be charging around 1,500 for some universities for international students per semester. So you can break it down, and then you will see that it's very negligible, and that amounts to no fees for university and tertiary level.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Simon. We will keep coming back to this conversation because we want to help our people. I guess today was really to lay the ground for what is this labor migration to Germany, and then also to expose you so that people can contact you, and you have your contacts, I guess, on the description of this video. There are contacts to Simon. You can contact him on WhatsApp, and email or whatever other channel. I don't know what your format of communication is, Simon. I have a lot of arguments with people these days because somebody will come to my inbox right now and say interested. And I don't know what they're interested in. Is it in my cow? Is it in the chicken at Kipkenda? Is it the tea seedlings at Sinonim? What are they interested in? So guys, like I always say, try and figure out what it is that I'm going to go through when I receive your message. You are interested. What are you interested in? I didn't want to say the other things which can easily make me look like an idiot for everybody else. But let's know what it is that you're interested in. And then if you're going to contact Simon and say, I'd like to come to Germany as a nurse, also provide some background so that you say, I am a trained nurse already. I'm working with experience in the nursing industry in Kenya. Or I am a student of nursing. I'm about to go through my education. Or I have just, done my KCSE and I'm waiting to join university, but I am deciding if Germany has an opportunity for nursing, I can come to Germany for nursing. Provide information beyond interested. Hi, hello, because you want to go abroad. And one of the things you want to do abroad is to communicate. And communication is not hello, hi, interested, I want it. What is it? Simon, I don't know what you like in your communication style.
Thank you, Professor. We have been talking about this all along. All along, even during we do sessions that we had. Let's be concise, communicative with our communication. Especially, like, for example, who am I talking to? You find someone who has got a social media name that I don't even know whether it's a real person or an AI, like artificial intelligence contacting me. So I may even push it because when you just say, hi, I want to know about going to Germany, studying and going to Germany. So where will I start? If you really want to communicate to me, first of all, know what you want. First is who are you? What are you looking for? And how would you maybe want to be, how would you want to engage us? But I will also recommend that like, for example, I can say, I'm Simeon Kirui. I come from this. I did this and this and this. I would like to do my further studies in this and this and this, or I would like to work in this industry, and I have this experience. Just to make it again easy for you to get in touch with you, please tell me if you're in the health sector or you want to do this work in any other area. Do you speak the language? If you speak the language, which level? Because then it will also ease us not wasting time, and it can ease the process of facilitating to meeting what you want to do. And I saw something, Professor, maybe just want to say, the only time that maybe someone will hold your passport is when you're going to apply for a visa. I think Dr. Rono, who is also helping students and other Kenyans around here, mentioned that. And we are very many in Germany. Just know exactly what you want and who you want to talk to. Just look at, again, maybe the experiences of people having worked with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Simon. I think the message is really pretty clear, that there are opportunities open here for people to come from abroad to Germany. Germany is short of around 250,000, active skilled labor, but that doesn't mean the 250,000 should come from Kenya. So it's global. That means you are competing globally. And we will get to a point where we will talk about some of the documents you need to prepare before you speak to somebody or apply for a job. And I will try and get people that can guide us in this regard. I have seen a question about somebody asking whether somebody with a C- can get a scholarship to come to study a diploma in Germany. Let's make it very clear. One, there is no diploma in Germany. It used to be diploma, which is a master's. Somewhere between a Master of Science and a PhD is called a diploma. So Germany doesn't typically have a diploma the way we know it in Kenya. And B, there would be no scholarship for anything like that because, well, one, it doesn't exist. And B, even when it is a bachelor's degree, they are very, 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 almost zero, I think, zero scholarships for bachelors. There are limited scholarships for masters. PhDs are funded almost fully, but it takes a process, and that's something we can discuss on another day. Thanks a lot, Evans. I've seen your comment as well. Do not give anybody your passport except the person who is processing your visa. And an agency doesn't process a visa for Germany. You do not have an agency except one called TLS, correct, which has been, contracted by the German government to do the visa consular service for respective countries where that service is available. And so don't give anybody your passport unless it is the government agency which is processing your visa. I think I've seen quite a number of other questions, including one I have lost here from Jeffrey. He was asking what are the specific procedures. Please watch the video again because I want to keep it short so that it is easy to follow. When we do our normal 4-hour videos, people slip through it. Simon, do you have any closing remarks before we say let's come back next time?
Thank you, Professor. I just want to yes, before next time, I just want to thank you for this time that you created, and you have created this session for us to converse with the Kenyans. I want to encourage Kenyans to also inform themselves on social media, but don't just believe everything that is in the social media. And we have come here showing ourselves that you can contact us, but at the same time, please do your homework. Don't be too lazy. And if you if you want to get and work with us, you can also go to our Facebook page, Kepic Commercials Germany. You can send us a text there. You can reach us also by booking an appointment through our website, www.kepic-international.com. You can go inside there. When you read of other things that we do, there is a place that we have just put there, migrating and living in Germany or something like this. And then you book an appointment, and then we will send you the time that we can talk about it. Give us the necessary means of reaching out to you. Even time, like for example, if you can tell me, okay, I'm only reachable as from this time to this time, it helps me to sort of also assist you. Because if you just talk and then after 3 days, there is no communication or something like this, then it becomes very difficult for me to know when we can fix it. So you can also help to say, from this time and this time I can talk, but I would like to talk on this and this time, and give us how best can we reach to you, or how do you want to communicate. There is a WhatsApp group, number that you can send. You can send us. There is an email, because we want to keep it professional. So I just want to leave it there, and I wish you all the best. And arriving to Germany, just to finish, arriving to Germany is only one step. Being in Germany is another thing. And staying in Germany is a different one. So know that it is a process going to Germany, staying there, and being here and staying in Germany and working and finding a success around it. So we want to say that we are giving you the entrance, access to it, settling, and also maybe building yourself around it. So we want to give a comprehensive, holistic support to Kenyans who want to find their ways here. Thank you, Prof.
Very good. Thanks a lot, Simon. I mean, it's been an honor hosting you here on this inaugural show, which is covering the path to Germany. We hope to keep hosting as many of you as possible that have, views that help people. We want actionable information, and we will keep coming back to you, Simon, because obviously your skill and also experience and expertise working with the German Ministry of Labor will be very important in this journey. Thank you very much for all of you who joined us today